Hello, my dear. Hi. It is so nice to meet you. How are you? How are the kids? You have kids, right? I am Angela Freckleton, an aspiring author. I'm new to Authortube, not necessarily watching authors on Authortube, but being an author on Authortube. Whoa. Something shifted. Something just shifted. I like the sound of that. Let me give you a little 411. I used to be very creative. I used to create every day. I used to write every day. And somewhere along the line, I stopped doing that. Probably got lost in the corporate fog. We mourn that version of me. We hold space for that version of me. No more. No more. I have decided that I am going to not only revisit the part of me that used to create every day, but reinvent her, build her up from scratch again, fall in love with the process, with the creation. And I want to document that journey and take people along who might want to do the same thing. We could do something here. We could be something here. Something special. Yeah, okay. I think that's enough intro. Why don't we get into the actual questions for the Authortube newbie tag? Not quite sure if this is the most recent version. I'm assuming it is. I'm assuming these are the most recent questions. If not, what do you want? What do you want from me? It's done. I've recorded it. What do you want? It's dangerous outside. Everywhere that is not within the city's fortified walls is hell. And flood. It is hell and flood because the tyrant goddess has taken jurisdiction over the entirety of the earth. Only her brother's chosen people remain safe within the walls. Naturally, there is a thankfulness to this holy brother god, a devotion, and our protagonist is indeed a devoted follower, a devout follower, so much so that the people's oracle senses within her a heart so pure that she can be called this god's friend. And so she is drafted, allowed in to join the coalition of soldiers who are taking on the holy duty of traversing into the wilderness, the everywhere, the hell, and the flood. It is their holy duty, privilege, and possibly undoing to save the rest of the world. Nevertheless, they must try. With the tyrant goddess throwing all sorts of trials and tribulations their way, will our protagonist be able to defeat her, honor her god and her people, and liberate herself? This is Project Olden. That I do. Were you locked in? Were you locked in? Because I'm locked in. I'm locked in. I'm locked in. If I were a novel, I think I would pitch myself as a mix between literary drama and comedy. Don't know how those things would marry together, but I'm pretty sure my author would find a way. My plot would follow a series of trials and errors, successes and failures, and it would have core themes of self-discovery, content, and love. 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 I think it would be a coming of age story. Because I may be 25, but I'm still coming of age. I find myself drawn to stories including large fantastical elements, things pertaining to the multiverse, gods, time and space. It is a hyperfixation of mine. I also find myself drawn to working on historical fiction and romance. I haven't really explored that many other genres, but I think I am a fantasy girl, but not like elves fantasy, kind of like the large expanse of everything we ever are and were and will be. 4D fantasy? I don't know. I don't know how to categorize that. I think I need to explore a concrete name for that genre a little bit more. I am kind of interpreting this question in two different ways. One, I aim to never write anything that is, from a moral standpoint, unnecessary, meaning I don't plan on ever writing anything just for shock value or something that is repulsive just to be repulsive. I don't know if that makes any sense. I really don't think that I would be the type of author that would attempt to craft something just to make someone uncomfortable. So that's something I think I would never write in that sense. But when it comes to genre, I think I'm open to everything. I don't think I would say I would never write anything. Well, maybe romantasy. I don't see myself writing romantasy in the way that it is popularized now. Maybe I would try to subvert it. I really don't know. In starting an Authortube channel, I really want to emphasize and highlight my desire to grow consistent. I believe that having an audience watching me, whether it's just one person or 1 million, would help me remember that this is something that isn't a chore, but something that I want to be doing. So it's definitely something to help me with my consistency, and also hopefully to build a community. I would love to get to know like-minded authors and see if I could garner any sort of base that would be able to not only support me, but allow me to support them and pour into them and feed into them. Kind of like a cyclical circle of life type beat. It's the circle of life and it moves us all, you know? I can't really remember an inciting incident that made me want to start writing. I just know that I have been writing ever since I was young. I always liked enjoying little stories. However, I do think that there was a significant jump in my desire to write compelling narratives thanks to the Hunger Games. So, shout out Suzanne Collins. I specifically remember being in middle school wanting to write my own dystopian novel, and it's just been an amplified version of that ever since then. I have been thinking about traditional publishing. I don't know as much about each of the pros and cons of the publishing paths, so I do need to do more research into that, but right now my default has been traditional. This is a meaty question, in my opinion. What do I bring? Besides my own unique self, I think there is a potential for my life experience to color how I perceive the art of creation and the art of writing. I think that I would be able to bring this aesthetic flair to Authortube in that I would allow the other types of performance and art that I have done throughout the entirety of my life to color how I present and how I write and how I showcase what part of the process I'm in to my audience. I hope that made sense. My biggest writing struggle, and definitely a key catalyst in starting this channel, is consistency. I am very easily overwhelmed by work and the other activities I have going on in my life. So it is very hard at the end of a long work day for me to find the motivation to pick up the computer and pound out 1,000 words. But I think that doing this and also reminding myself that nothing worth having comes necessarily easy, I think that that would allow me to overcome that struggle. I truly believe my best writing skill is immersion. I think I do a really good job of capturing someone's attention and making them feel this whoa, hey, with the type of words that I use. I think that that's something I've learned from my background in performance and acting. So, definitely immersion. I think I do a really good job of creating and making you feel the pain, the joy, the love, the sadness, and everything in between. As I stated earlier, I don't necessarily think I'm new to Authortube as a viewer. I am as an author. So I guess if I had a question, it would be, who wants to be Moots? Who wants to be my friend? Who? I stink! Sorry. No, who wants to connect? And how can I keep you engaged while being on this journey for myself? Do you want to comment? Do you want to comment that? You could comment that. If you're still here, you can comment that. Only if you want to. I don't know, only if you want to. I'm looking for all the things. I am looking for each and every single type of person in this question. Please comment down below if you are interested. Let's be friends. Why not? Life is short. Life is short. It's too short to play games. I'm asking you outright. Do you want to be my friend? It doesn't get much easier than that. I am excited to get to the place where I type the end in Scrivener and say, wow, I finally did it. I finally completed a narrative that I deeply cared about. I'm excited to take people along the journey of exploring different themes and subplots and characters. I'm excited to actually craft something rather than having it live in my head forever. So that is the thing I'm looking forward to most in relation to this Authortube journey. And I really do hope that if you are interested, you find yourself sticking around for the ride. Okay, I think that is everything. I am going to be posting relatively soon. I am not sure what kind of content yet that I'm going to be posting. Maybe it'll just be a vlog. I really don't know. But I will be posting. And honestly, that's tea. That's all you need. Thank you so much for your time. Exits are this way and that way. Peace.